Hello, sunshines. So I'm going to set the scene for you, and the reason why you're seeing my hands and not my face. So it is, it is 5:18 p.m. on Wednesday, October 21st. I have just gotten home. I walked home today. That's 1.7 miles. It is, let's see, let's get a detailed scene here. It is 81 degrees. Feels like 82. Humidity at 57%. And I am here catching the sunlight before it goes in the next 2 hours to record my full process for my Gentober pieces. So let's get to it. So I sketched out all of the pieces ahead of time. There's one that I have not sketched out. Well, I guess I should do that then. Let's do that one. Yeah, we'll do that one so that you can get the full idea. Is there any more paper in here? Yeah. Okay, let's take out a piece of paper. Okay, so full process, guys. Let's do it. Okay, so I got permission for all of these. They're mostly people I know. Some people were artists that I follow, and a few of them were artists who someone I follow and suggested. But yeah, so this is Derwent. So basically I print out the pictures in black and white. If the pictures were a little bit low contrast, I upped the contrast so it would make it easier for me to draw, because I have a hard time like perceiving low contrast things. And then I get my good old X-Acto knife, which I got, I don't remember when. Got this U-Check cutting mat way back in college when I had to. It was on my supplies list for one of my classes. So basically what I've been doing is I've been starting off with cutting like the outline of the face. I haven't been including much of backgrounds. Okay, sorry about that. My partner called me. They work at a restaurant and they do the to-go orders, so when they go out on delivery, they call me. So we don't get to hang out that much because my schedule is opposite of theirs. So I work from 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 most days, and they go to work at 4 and then get home at like 11. So and I'm off on weekends. They're usually off on like random weekdays. So we try to get our phone calls in. Okay, so you saw me draw this. I used this Papermate pencil. It's a mechanical pencil. I have loved these pencils since I was in middle school. That was like 2006, 7, 8. These are my go-to pencils in 0.5. I won't do the 0.7. 0.7 is too much for me. Too big. I really like fine things. So yeah, so you saw me cut and you saw me draw. You saw me cut and tape. Okay? You saw me draw. So now, what I was doing before, so I mixed up some Winsor & Newton Black India ink with water, and I put it, you know those plug-in oil fragrance things from Airwick and like the other companies? I keep these because this is glass. I keep it, and I keep the original tops for them because they seal all the way, and I use them for things like this. So I mixed a little bit of ink with water and put it in here because the ink straight from the bottle was not staying in the nib very well of this. And for most of them, I would say about half of them, I was using these dip pens because I really like them. I need to figure out, I don't know, there's something going on, but there was one day it got really cold, so we turned the heat on and it was really dry, and we didn't put out the humidifier, and it was quite disastrous. So I had started using Micron because it didn't dry out. So, wow, that was a ramble. Basically, this dries out with the Winsor & Newton ink by itself. I think it's a little bit too thick, maybe. I don't know that much about this stuff. So I mixed it with water just a little bit so it's still black, and used this until that day that it got really cold here, so we turned the heat on. I am from Florida. I am made of the sun. I love the warmth. I hate the cold. I have been wearing sweaters since the first day it hit 50 degrees in the morning, even though it's been 80 degrees in the afternoons. This is my life. Yeah, so I think today I'm going to use the Micron to go ahead and do this piece. So I try to start off on the top left because I'm right-handed and I don't want to smudge. And I start with the outlines of the pieces of paper first. I do this first just because, I don't know. I don't know why I do this first. I have some small habits that I kind of do. It's kind of like, so when I eat food, I will eat the things that I like the least first and save the thing that I like the most for last. So I think this is kind of in that similar vein. I just kind of do, I mean, it's not that similar. I just kind of do the bigger parts first and then later go in to do the details. And I do the same with the dip pen. The only difference is that I can be a little bit faster with the Micron, because with dip pens, certain angles won't flow, like the ink won't flow, and certain other angles are just kind of, they're rough against the paper. And then of course you have to pause to refill the well of the dip pen. But with a Micron, the ink is continuous. And there aren't really any issues with what angle or what direction you draw in. This is a 0.01 micron, by the way. When I first switched to the microns, I really wanted to use 0.005. Whoops, I started doing the inside. I'll wait to do that. I started using a 0.00, or I wanted to use a 0.005, but I couldn't find it. I think I have 100% lost it. It's probably, I mean, it's probably in a backpack somewhere. And I probably just forgot to switch it out when I changed backpacks at some point. So I went with the next smallest one, which was 0.01, which is this one. And I think I actually would prefer this over the smaller one, just because sometimes in the darker areas it takes so much extra effort to hatch in the darkness. I don't know why I'm doing the inside of these before the outlines of everything else. It's also, I'm also a bit out of sorts today. I stayed up a little bit late last night. If you guys know me, sleep is like a god to me. And I always aim to get 8 hours or more of sleep. Because otherwise I'm just a big old mess the next day. So last night I stayed up late because we finished Lovecraft Country and we were behind by 2 episodes. And at first I was like, no, I'm just gonna watch 1 episode and then I gotta conk out. And it was already 20 minutes before my bedtime. Such a child, bedtime. It was 20 minutes before my bedtime when we started the first one, and if you have watched Lovecraft Country, you know that the episodes are like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe even longer. I never looked. So we watched it, and then I really liked the second to last episode, so I was like, okay, we need to finish it. And we all have to, we watch it together, so we had to wait until our schedules met up. Or what we were doing before with the earlier episodes is when my partners would get home, they would wake me up at like when they were settled, and then when they were settled, and then we would watch it. They would wake me up. So I said, let's just go ahead and watch it. So a whole hour and so past my bedtime, I had committed to watching a whole nother hour or so. And I would say overall the show was pretty great. I think that the ending was not so great. And and we're going to listen to the podcast. There's a podcast of it too, where they talk about each episode, because there's a couple of things that we're just kind of like, I guess, missing out on. So yeah, that was my disappointment there. Okay, so back to this. So if you guys had noticed from the reference, this person has dark hair. So what I've been doing with the dark, like big dark sections like this, is I will draw in a few details. Like here I'm doing a few, like a little bit of the curly Q. And then later on, I'll do a big wash over it. And you'll see how that kind of works out. Now with these, I'm just trying to get like a general likeness. I'm not being like really prissy about details because I just don't have the energy to. And I'll tell you guys a little secret. I don't do these daily. So basically what the habit has become is I've been managing to do about 2 or 3 of these on the weekend. Like I said, I have already sketched all of them except for this one. I got the picture back a little bit late for this one. So I have them all sketched out, and then I do a few on the weekend. So far it's been like 3 or 4 in one day, and then I photograph them and then I post them, and then it gets to a day like today where yes, I had one to post. Oh, and by the way, I don't post on Sundays. For some reason my engagement on Sundays it's terrible. Like, it's just always been that way. It hasn't changed. It never improves. If anything, I lose followers on Sundays. I don't know why. So I've stopped posting on Sundays on Instagram. So I get 3 or 4 done, and I'm good until Wednesday or Thursday, because I post it on Monday and then Tuesday and then Wednesday, and then I get to Wednesday and I realize that for the next day I don't have anything to post. So days like today where I can, I go ahead and get one done. Last week I could not get one done on that Wednesday for some reason. So I did not post on Thursday, and then I got some done on Thursday, and then I was able to post for Friday and for Saturday, and then start the loop over again. Sorry I'm losing my voice a little bit. At work, like I've mentioned before, I normally work with the after schoolers, but because there is no school, there are no after schoolers. So I have been helping out in various classrooms, and lately I've been in the classroom that has our 2-year-olds. And if you've ever met a 2-year-old before, you know that all they do is talk, talk, talk. And all you need to do with them is talk, talk, talk. You can't sit there and not talk to them unless they're sleeping. So my voice is pretty weak at the end of the day. Basically, with these details that I've added in here in this section, I just eyeballed the more prominent bits and decided on that, because when you'll see after the wash, but you'll see that you can see those details even if the wash is pretty dark. Let me not hit the camera while I make these eyebrows. Some of you might be wondering, I guess, like how I learned to use ink. Maybe, I don't know. That would be something I would wonder. Basically, I was really observant of art that I like that's made of ink, and I looked at their lines and I kind of internalized, okay, so they did this thing to make this part look dark, or they did this thing to give that kind of like texture on something. And I just really tried to internalize that as I went on with this project. This person has amazing eyebrows. Okay, so as far as like shading, I don't do a lot of it. I focus on shading around the eyes and the nose and the mouth the most when I do, but when it comes to like the skin texture and things like that, I don't do much because I don't think I'm that good. I'm not Alfonso Dunn level. And for the eyes, I have been, so I'll do an even row of hatches, and then another one. And you see it's pretty dark, but it's not quite shapely, so I'll fill out, if there's no highlights, which this one doesn't have any highlights, I'll fill out where I would think the pupil is, because with these pictures I can't really see. And then I'll go with like curves around the edges, so it just gives a little bit more shape to it. There's a bit of shadow here from the eyelashes, and then it gets dark here. And so here, right here where like the nose meets the eyebrow, that's where I like to do the shading on these. And then sometimes here in the corner of the eyes too. And then underneath the eyes, because that's a really important part of the face. There's a little bit of shadow of the glasses, which I think I'll include. Yeah. See, so I don't do too much. I feel like I do just enough. Alright, let's do this eye. Start with this little piece over here. Fun fact, I have worn glasses since I was in the 2nd grade. An even funner fact, so I was a big bully in elementary school until like 4th or 5th grade, maybe 3rd grade. I had a really great teacher in 3rd grade. And in 2nd grade, I had bullied someone about their glasses. And I think it was just that silly thing of like, oh, you make fun of someone that you like or someone that you want to be friends with. I don't know. So, just the week after that was when I got glasses. Literally like a week after I had bullied this kid. I didn't do anything crazy, like I didn't like knock them off his face or anything. I just made fun of how they looked or something like that. And I didn't, I guess since we're on the topic of like me as a kid, I was pretty mean, but I never got in trouble. I got in trouble one time. Well, there were 2 times I got in trouble, like big trouble with my mom. So the first time was in elementary school. It was because of my friend. Their name at the time was Megan, and they, so basically we were in after school, which was like, you know, when school is done, but you don't get picked up yet. So we were in after school and it was snack time. And we had finished eating, and for some reason the counselors were like pretty angry that day. I guess it was really loud and they were telling everybody not to talk. So I barely talk anyway because I was very shy, even though I was a bully. I was very shy, very quiet. So I stopped talking, you know, following directions, and Megan had said something to me, and I guess the counselor heard it and got really angry. And so we got in trouble. I had to write dictionary pages, but little did they know that was a lot of fun for me. And then the other time I got in trouble, it was really dumb, guys. Like really dumb. I had a brand new laptop, not even like a month old, maybe 2 months at the most. You can probably guess where this is going. And I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. I was sitting on my bed in my room, and I was also drinking soda. It was like one of those short bottles of soda. It was a Coke. And I really had to do something. My battery. No, not my battery. The time ran out. It's been 20 minutes. So I had something really important to do at the same time as absolutely needing to continue picking up this bottle of soda to take a drink from. So I decide, oh, I'll just put this bottle of soda in my mouth and hold it that way. And then, to no one's surprise, bottle of soda drops all over my brand new laptop. And to no one's surprise, it dies. I did not tell my mom right away. It was early. My mom wakes up late. It was early. And well, she used to wake up late. She doesn't wake up late anymore. So I got a bunch of towels, put towels on it. I don't remember how old I was, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know. It was not elementary school. I feel like it was middle school. And yeah, I feel like it was middle school. But yeah, so I got a bunch of towels. I tried to dry it off as best I could. I had a fan in my room. I put my fan on it, and I just kept running it, and kept the towels on it. And I went downstairs and tried really hard to forget about it, but I was really anxious about it because it was brand new, and I was so upset that I broke it. And I knew that my mom was going to be so angry. And when I tell you I don't get in trouble, I don't get in trouble. So I got in trouble the one time in elementary school, and they told my mom, of course. And I think I just couldn't do something for a week or something like that, even though I didn't do anything. And so yeah, so I tried to forget about it downstairs, and I realized I was really dumb. And then so I wrote a note, and I put that note outside my mom's door, and the note basically said that I spilled soda on the laptop and I broke it, and I was so sorry. And yeah, I mean, of course the note didn't make up for it. I had to wash dishes for a month, and that was terrible because I hate washing dishes. I still don't like washing dishes. But yeah, that was the only other time that I got in trouble, basically. I was a bit of a goody two-shoes. I even, so my mom would curse around me, even as a kid, just, you know, whatever. And I got to a point in middle school where I was like, cursing is bad, you gotta stop doing that, to my mom. And she stopped cursing around me. It was so funny. And even in high school, I didn't start cursing until like really late in high school. And when I did, everybody was so shocked. They were like, what did you just say? You didn't just say that. And now you could probably say I'm a sailor, especially when I'm around friends. Of course not on YouTube because, you know, audiences. Yeah. Ooh, we're almost done. Okay, so, well, we're almost done with the lining. I hope that this chatty video is okay. I know lately I've been really appreciating chatty videos because I can listen to them while I do other stuff and kind of casually look up and not feel like I've missed out on a lot of things, because I've just been working on Patreon, working on these Gentober things. What else have I been doing? Editing these videos for you guys. I'm trying to be more consistent. Trying really hard. I hope you guys appreciate it. What else am I doing? Yeah, just that kind of stuff, you know. Things that need your eyeballs and your hands. I've also been trying to give myself a little bit more slack and a little bit of more playtime, you know, like playing Animal Crossing or reading. I'm nearly finished with the first story in the book I'm reading. I'm reading 4 Past Midnight by Stephen King. And it's a collection of 4 stories. He described it as they were too long to be short stories, and they were too short to be novels. And so the first, and this book was published in 1994. The first story is called The Langoliers, and there's a movie, an old movie, I think from 1995, of it. But basically what happens is these people go on a flight to Boston from LA, and the way Stephen King writes, it's not, most of the time it's not first person, it's in third person, but you're in their head, so it's in like multiple people's third persons. So basically the people that you're following, they woke up, you know, because people go to sleep on a plane. They woke up and half, well, maybe more than half, like 2/3 of the people on the flight were gone. They had disappeared. And so people start figuring out that the only people who survived or were like still there were the people who were sleeping. and that all the people who, you know, must have been awake were gone. And so they're trying to figure out what to do. Luckily, there was a captain on board who was asleep. Like, they weren't flying the plane, they were just a captain flying to another airport. And so they break into the, what is it called? Is it called a captain's pit? The pilot? I don't know. They break into the front room because they realize, oh man, the pilot and the co-pilot, I'm sure they weren't sleeping. So who's flying the plane? Luckily it was on autopilot. But yeah, so they break in, and then the pilot, who was just a passenger on the plane, takes control of the plane. And they start flying, and they start realizing that all the power and all the buildings, well, not all the buildings, but a lot of the buildings were gone from like the landscape below. And they're all like, you know, kind of working together to figure it out. One of the people is like, I mean, essentially crazy. And they're crazy is from trauma, but yeah, they were crazy, so they weren't helping much. They were actually causing a few more problems, but they had this fear based from their childhood of these people called Langoliers, and basically his father was like this big businessman and it, you know, work till you die kind of person. And the Langoliers were the lazy people. The Langoliers were the people that you did not want to be, and they were going to get you if you were lazy and didn't work hard. So I'm almost done with that story. There's not much more I can tell you without like giving it away. But that's okay, because we're on to the next part of this painting. Where's my... There it is. Okay, so I use this brush, and I'll do, well no, I need to use the bigger brush. So I'm going to use this brush. We're going to fill in this top part here. So, to do that, I'll get my brush wet, and I dip it in my mixture of ink and water, get my brush wet again, and I just, you know, fill it in. I try to do one big wash first, but you can see how you still see the line work underneath. Okay, and then I'm going to get some more, and I'm going to kind of make some areas darker. I'm going to kind of use like the pattern of their hair. Okay, and now we're almost done. We're about to do my favorite part. So I don't do any ink wash. We can finish this before my camera shuts off again. I don't do any ink wash anywhere else. I rinse off my brush. I grab the smaller brush that I showed you first. Get it really wet. Dip my brush into my ink. Get it really wet again, even more wet than before. And we do the shadows. Okay, so I do a drop shadow so you can see basically that this is paper. And the reason why I add more water on these is because since there's already a wash on here, and it's so dark, I want to differentiate it. I want to make sure that you can understand that this is like a shadow from a thing versus being a part of the hair, you know? Oh, I need to fill in the glasses. The glasses are dark. Okay, I'll have to do that as an after effect. Sorry, guys. It's getting darker. Oh, this is stressful. Oh, the woes of winter. I think one of the hardest parts, like aside from just general seasonal depression from wintertime, is when you're a YouTuber who values natural light, you have significantly less time to film. I mean, especially if you have a full-time job. Okay, so I did all the shadows. Some bits don't have shadows because they're a lot closer to like the paper that they're taped on. Well, I'm really losing my voice. I want these bits to dry a little bit before I add the dark. So I'll go ahead and sign my name. I'm sorry I don't have a fancy signature, guys. I'm so inconsistent. And I'm double checking what name they go by. Yep, Darian. Alright, let's add these dark bits. And the very last thing, which I won't do on here, is I will erase the lines. The pencil lines. I just use a kneaded eraser. I have been forgetting to erase the lines before I photograph them for Instagram. So I haven't been too concerned about like including that as part of the process. It's kind of more of an afterthought. But yeah, thank you guys for sitting through my process here. I hope you enjoyed seeing every little bit and hearing me chat. I hope you're having a great morning or evening or week or weekend, whatever it is. See you next time, sunshines.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.